The year we broke up, Frank Cole tossed me a check for $1 million. Back then, I was young and proud. I cashed it out and made it rain all over his engagement party. His fiancée stormed out, and he became the laughingstock of the city. Years later, we meet again when my dinky electric scooter scrapes his Maybach. The man's face is a mask. Should we get insurance involved, or do you want to handle this privately? I force a smile and rub my hands together. So, about that $1 million from back then, is that offer still on the table? He scoffs. Sure. First, you can pay me back a wife. The car window glides down. The man's profile is sharp, his suit immaculate, his expression cold. Was that on purpose? My mind goes blank. Frank Cole. Of all the ways I imagined we'd meet again, this was not one of them. I stare at the long, ugly scratch on the Maybach and my vision goes dark. I'm so screwed. How much is this going to cost? Long time no see. I manage a smile that's uglier than a crying face. He doesn't respond. His eyes drift from my face to my beat-up old scooter, and his lips part. Insurance, or cash? I try my luck. Your car has insurance, right? He lets out a short, sharp laugh, tapping his fingers on the steering wheel. And what does that have to do with you? Right. I was being naive. A few minutes later, his assistant hands me a piece of paper. Ms. Wilson, this is the damage estimate. I stare at the long string of zeros, counting them 3 times to be sure. $20,000. I couldn't afford that even if I sold myself. Frank leans against the car, watching me with an air of detached amusement. His tone is icy. I thought Ms. Wilson considered money to be beneath her. It's only 20 grand. Damn it. The boomerang I threw years ago had finally come back and hit me right where it hurts. The more of a badass I looked making it rain, the more pathetic I looked having to pay it back. The year we broke up, Frank gave me $1 million as a sort of severance package. I was young then, and my pride was worth more than my life. I hadn't even graduated yet, so I had no idea how hard it was to earn a buck in the real world. On an impulse, I converted the check to cash and hauled it to his engagement party. In front of his family, his fiancée's family, and all the city's elite. I threw it all in the air. On every sleepless night since. Every time I remember it, I want to slap myself silly. If I hadn't been so ridiculously melodramatic, I'd be a rich woman by now. I squeeze out another pained smile. Who needs dignity? Not me. So, Mr. Cole. I rub my hands together. About that $1 million, is it still possible to claim it? The words feel like sandpaper in my mouth. His eyes scan my face. Sure. My own eyes widen a fraction of an inch. He slowly finishes his sentence. First, pay me back a wife. And where am I supposed to get one of those? His perfectly matched fiancée stormed out on him that day because of me. The engagement was off, and he became a city-wide joke. The talk of the town was that Frank Cole's trophy girlfriend had gone rogue. Luckily, I got out of there fast. Now, well, the tables have turned, and I'm the one who's broke. Hey, Mr. Cole, Frank, for old time's sake, could you maybe give me a discount? I try playing the sympathy card, even though there probably isn't much sympathy left. He raises an eyebrow. Old time sake? I nod furiously. He smiles faintly. All right. I'll give you a 1% discount. You have got to be kidding me. Thanks for nothing. The boy who used to help me carry my giant duffel bags had fully evolved into a stone-cold capitalist. Well, can I pay in installments? I'm grasping at straws here. And who do I chase down when you run off? His gaze is pointed. After all, Ms. Wilson, you have a history of that. I really won't run. I swear. I point to the sky and the ground dramatically. Talk is cheap. He stops looking at me and turns to his assistant. Have legal draw up a payment contract. Then he gestures to me. Get in. We're going to the office to sign it. I can just follow you on my scooter. My little ride may have scratched his luxury car, but it came out completely unscathed. See? Luxury goods only screw over the rich. I don't like to wait. He shoots me a look, then adds, and who knows if you won't just take off at the next intersection. Okay, fine. He knows me too well. I did, for a split second, consider the feasibility of that plan. He glances at my little scooter, his brow furrowed. Put it in the trunk. The trunk opens, and I huff and puff, trying to lift the scooter. I fail. The thing looks small, but it weighs a ton. Losing patience, Frank walks over. I'll do it. I whisper a warning, it's kind of heavy. He scoffs. How heavy can it be? Then, the great Mr. Cole rolls up the sleeves of his expensive shirt and gives it a try. It doesn't budge. The scene becomes incredibly awkward. His assistant even lets out a choked laugh. Frank shoots him a death glare. Are you just going to stand there? Can't you lend a hand? The young assistant snaps to attention. Sorry, sir. I thought you wanted to, I thought you were trying to show, my mistake. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, lift. They get the scooter in. But the trunk won't close. Frank stares at his assistant, his face blank. You ride it back. The assistant looks like he's about to cry. Sir, I don't know how. Then push it. Assistant, oh, okay. Poor guy. The grind is real. Frank drives, and I shrink into the passenger seat. The car moves forward smoothly. The silence is unnerving. I sneak a glance at him. The lines of his profile are harder now. The rebellious edge of his youth is gone, replaced by the calm, distant authority of a man in charge. I'm lost in thought when he suddenly speaks. Don't you need to let your boyfriend or husband know? I mumble, he's busy with work. His gaze sweeps over me, and he chuckles. Still wearing clothes from 5 years ago. Doesn't seem like he treats you very well. I get defensive. This is retro. It's called vintage. He lets out a soft laugh and says nothing more. As the quiet settles in, memories flood back like a rising tide. The year I came to the city from a tiny town in the middle of nowhere, I was standing at the university gate with 2 giant duffel bags, completely lost. He was a senior, dragged along by his roommate to help with freshman orientation. He was wearing a simple white t-shirt and jeans, looking impossibly handsome with a lazy, impatient air about him. I was starstruck. Hey, senior, my bags are kinda heavy. The words just tumbled out, my country accent and all. He didn't seem to mind. How heavy can they be? The moment he tried to lift them, he nearly threw out his back. Not heavy at all. Light as a feather. He put on a brave face, gritting his teeth as he hauled my bags up to my 6th-floor dorm room. He watched as I pulled out a comforter, a wash basin, a thermos, and even a small cooking pot. When I finally pulled out a bag of fruit, his expression cracked. Seriously? You can't buy this stuff here? Why didn't you just move your whole house? I wash a large melon, break it in half, and offer it to him with a sincere look. Grew it myself back home. Want some? He hesitates for a second, then takes it and bites off a small, reluctant piece. He freezes. Holy crap, why is this so good? TSK. City folk are so sheltered. Frank was the student council president. When they were recruiting new members, he asked me, everyone else from your dorm signed up. How come you didn't? I told him I was working. I was from the countryside and my family didn't have much money. I'd heard you had a lot of free time in college, so I figured I could work part-time. I was dishing out food in the cafeteria for $15 an hour. When Frank showed up at the window, I took the large ladle and piled his bowl high with meat. "Here you go, senior. Let me fill that up for you." I found out later that the rich kid never ate in the cafeteria. His dad was the wealthiest man in the city and had donated $100 million to the school to get him in. One day, he mentioned it offhandedly. "I have a friend whose club needs someone to do odd jobs. $50 an hour. You in?" Was this too good to be true? I looked at him suspiciously. "What kind of club?" "I'm not doing anything illegal." He looked exasperated. "The tennis club." "Illegal?" "Stella, what goes on in that head of yours?" "Me, making money." And so, I became the sole unofficial gopher for the tennis club. My main duties included picking up balls, handing out water, and watching Frank look cool. He was the club captain and a great player. Every time he was on the court, a crowd of fangirls would start screaming. Me? My eyes were only on the pile of sweaty towels and workout clothes he left behind. I had to wash them. It was $50 an hour, after all. Then one day, after a match, he asked me out of the blue, "Stella, why don't you just be my girlfriend?" Me, huh? He looked away, his tone a little unnatural. "All these girls showing up every day, it's annoying." I was stunned. Me? What do you even like about me? I couldn't figure it out. Then he said it. "I just like that you're not into me." What kind of masochistic logic is that? "So, are we doing this or not? Give me an answer." "Fine." I'd never seen anyone so good-looking. Even after all these years, Frank was still the most handsome man I'd ever known. "We're here." His cold voice snaps me out of my memories. I look up. Outside the car is a skyscraper that seems to touch the clouds. He unbuckles his seatbelt and suddenly leans toward me. My breath catches, and my back presses hard against the seat. What is he doing? He's so close we could kiss. Click. He unfastens my seatbelt. "Why are you blushing? What did you think I was going to do?" His voice is in my ear, tinged with mockery. Me, I wasn't. He scoffs and pulls back, his expression distant. "It's been 5 years. You think I'm pathetic enough to be the other woman?" With that, he gets out of the car, his face like stone. "Keep up." I clutch my chest, my heart pounding, and curse myself for being so pathetic. Signing the contract is utterly humiliating. The legal team is frighteningly efficient, and a payment plan is placed in front of me in minutes. I look at the monthly payment amount, and my head starts to throb. What? Scared to sign? He's sitting in his executive chair, looking relaxed. "Where's that courage you had when you were throwing cash around?" I squeeze my eyes shut, steel myself, and sign my life away. "ID?" He holds out his hand. "What do you need my ID for?" My guard is instantly up. "Collateral." His tone is matter of fact, filled with the cold cruelty of a capitalist. "What if you run off again? Where am I supposed to find you?" That's illegal." "Fine." He gestures as if to take back the contract. "Have your husband bring over $20,000 right now." I clench my jaw, swallow my pride, and slap my ID down on his desk. "Take it." Just then, my phone rings. It's the dean of my department. "Stella, 2 of your troublemakers got in a fight and ended up at the precinct. You need to come get them." I put my phone away and rush for the door. "Sorry, I have to go pick up the kids." He freezes. You have kids?" Without looking back, I call out, "Yeah, more than one. They're a handful." After leaving Frank's company, I suddenly remember my ride. "Where's my scooter?" I ask, turning back to him. "You mean that heavy-duty motorcycle of yours?" He glances at his phone. My assistant is still pushing it. He's not here yet. Forget it, I can't wait. I resign myself to getting a taxi. It's rush hour. The app shows 9 people ahead of me. Frank's car glides silently up beside me, and the window rolls down. Where to? The North Precinct. He raises an eyebrow slightly but doesn't ask any questions. He just says 2 words. Get in. This time I don't argue. I pull open the door and slide in. My students are at the police station. Every minute I'm late is another minute they could get into more trouble. When I hurry into the precinct, the officer on duty recognizes me. Ms. Wilson, right? You're finally here. Your student here got drunk, got into a fight over a girl, and nearly wrecked a barbecue stand. I immediately spot the troublemaker from my class, Jake. Next to him is another student with a bruised face. The advisor from the neighboring department has also rushed over. I'm so sorry, so sorry. I'll be sure to have a serious talk with him back at school. I apologize to the other party. Then I put on a smile for the police. After groveling for what feels like an eternity, I finally complete the paperwork and get my student out of there. I grab the culprit by the ear and hiss, "You've really outdone yourself, haven't you? Get in the car." Jake reeks of alcohol and is still dazed as I shove him into the back seat. The moment he's inside, his eyes go wide. "Whoa, Teach, when'd you get a Maybach?" I fasten my seatbelt, annoyed. In my dreams. His gaze shifts to the driver's seat, landing on the imposing figure of Frank. His eyes light up even more. "Wow, Teach, is this your boyfriend? He's hot." My eyelid twitches. Rideshare driver. Jake is even more shocked. He leans over the front seat. "No way, man. You drive this for Uber?" Frank stares straight ahead, his voice calm. "Yeah. Went bankrupt. Had to start driving to make ends meet." "Damn, man, are you single? I think you and our teacher would be a great match." I shoot him a death glare. "Shut up and sit back. Jake, you're really something else. Getting drunk, starting fights, the police told me everything. Just because some guy stole your girlfriend, you had to beat him up like that?" Jake hangs his head and mutters, "No, Teach, you got it wrong." "What do you mean, wrong?" The police were perfectly clear. It was a dispute over a girl. He lifts his head, the smell of booze still strong on his breath. "He didn't steal my girlfriend. I stole his." My brain stalls for a second. "Wait, you stole his girlfriend, and then you beat him up?" Jake is indignant. "He doesn't deserve her. We're the ones who are in love." I can't help but laugh. "You're the other man, and you're this arrogant? You don't get it." He juts out his chin, looking at me woozily. "Teach, have you ever been in love? Do you even know what true love is?" I chuckle. "You're writing me a 10,000-word apology tomorrow." Jake lets out a howl of despair. The one who isn't loved is the third wheel. He turns his bleary eyes to Frank. "Right, driver?" Frank glances at him coldly in the rearview mirror, his voice flat. "Puke in my car, and it's a $1,000 cleaning fee." Jake instantly shuts up and clamps a hand over his mouth. "This is weird, you two almost sound like you came from the same mold." The car pulls up to the university. I quickly drag Jake out of there. "Bye. Teach, I don't think you paid the fare." "Me, zip it." Frank glances out the window, his tone unreadable. "So you're a teacher here now?" I answer in a low voice, "Yeah, a student advisor." After we broke up, I was running on pure, anti-capitalist pride when I threw that $1 million away. At the time, I thought, who needs your dirty money? I'm an Ivy League grad. I can make a living anywhere. Reality hit me like a ton of bricks. All the decent jobs required a master's degree. I thought I was a diamond in the rough, but it turned out I was just a rough. With no other choice, I hit the books again and got my master's. After graduating and jumping through countless hoops, I finally landed a job as a student advisor at the university. I had job security, and with it, a securely low income. The next day at work, the dean bursts into the office, beaming. "Everyone, I have fantastic news. Our college has officially signed a partnership with Apex Capital. The CEO of Apex is incredibly generous and has just donated a massive scholarship fund to the school." A few of the younger female teachers are already whispering excitedly. I just snuck a peek. The CEO of Apex is so handsome. So young and successful, and I hear he's not married. When he was giving his speech at the information session, the girls in the audience never put their phones down. My curiosity piqued, I wander over to the session. The moment I get to the door, I freeze. The man on stage in a tailored suit, calmly answering student questions, "Isn't that Frank?" Just then, a bold student asks a question. "Mr. Cole, you've achieved such incredible success at such a young age. What would you say was your motivation?" Frank's gaze sweeps across the auditorium, pausing for half a second in my direction. "My girlfriend of 4 years dumped me." I channeled the grief into my work. A wave of sympathetic murmurs ripples through the crowd. "Oh, please. You were the one who dumped me." This man's ability to twist the story has only gotten better with age. After Frank leaves the stage, the dean quickly gathers us for a meeting. "Mr. Cole, this is Stella Wilson, the advisor in charge of student career services. She'll be your main point of contact for the partnership details." I'm speechless and can only step forward stiffly. He extends a hand, giving mine a light shake, a ghost of a smile playing on his lips. "Then I'll be counting on you, Ms. Wilson." No problem. My life is the problem. I force a fake smile. The dean continues, "The college has arranged a dinner to celebrate the partnership. Everyone should come after the meeting." I immediately speak up. "Dean, I don't think I can make it." The dean slaps his forehead. "Oh, right. I remember now, the union is hosting a mixer for single faculty members today, isn't it? That's important. Your personal life comes first, Stella." Just as I'm about to leave, Frank chimes in casually, "A mixer? That sounds interesting." He turns to the dean, his tone sincere. "As it happens, I'm single as well. Would it be possible for me to attend?" The dean is caught off guard for a moment and stammers, "Well, of course, you're welcome. It would be an honor to have you, Mr. Cole." And so, at the university mixer that evening, Frank Cole, a CEO worth who knows how many billions, stands out like a sore thumb among a crowd of teachers and civil servants. As part of the event, everyone is given a single rose. After filling out a profile, we introduce ourselves and then give our rose to the person who made the best first impression. Frank, tall and dressed in a suit, is a stark contrast to the sea of plaid and polo shirts worn by the other male teachers. "Hello, everyone. My name is Frank Cole. I'm 27, and I run a small company." In the first round, nearly every woman at the event blushes as she hands him her rose. When it's my turn, I'm clutching my lone flower. I take a deep breath and walk forward. As I stop beside him, he extends a hand toward me, his expression unreadable. "Excuse me, coming through." I step past him and hand my rose to the man standing next to him. During the introductions, I'd learned his name was Leo. He was 30, had just finished his PhD, and taught at the neighboring university. He wears glasses, has a gentle demeanor, and seems very good-natured. He's stunned to receive the rose. Thank you. The temperature of the gaze behind me drops several degrees. When it's Frank's turn, he strolls over to me, holding a massive bouquet of his spoils. Just when everyone expects a dramatic, CEO-style confession, he shoves the bouquet into my arms without a change in expression. "Ms. Wilson, would you mind taking care of these for me? I'm allergic to pollen." You liar. You weren't allergic when you were accepting them from everyone else. The second round is a get-to-know-you session. Leo and I are hitting it off, while next to us, Frank sits in a low-pressure zone with a very enthusiastic female teacher. Leo says shyly, I was surrounded by guys in school, and I was always so busy with research for my PhD that my love life kind of fell by the wayside. I thought for sure you'd pick Mr. Cole. Can I ask why you didn't? Me, I'm not a fan of entrepreneurs. Too much risk. You, on the other hand, are perfect. Highly educated, cultured, and with a stable job. It's reassuring. Leo smiles bashfully. Yeah, I mean, our income can't compare to someone like Mr. Cole, but it's steady. I plan to focus on my research, and once my projects start getting results, the pay will get better. A sharp, audible scoff comes from next to us. Leo asks me curiously, I saw on your profile that you've also had a serious relationship before. If you don't mind me asking, why did you two break up? The words fly out of my mouth. His mom, basically. Leo jumps, his face turning red. Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to bring up something painful. You don't have to tell me, and you don't have to use profanity. I quickly wave my hands. No, that's not what I meant. At almost the exact same moment, the teacher next to us asks Frank, Mr. Cole, I see on your profile you've also had a serious relationship. May I ask why it ended? Frank replies in his signature cool, detached tone, his voice crystal clear. My mom forced it. Dude, you're ruthless. You don't even spare yourself. But it was true. We broke up because his mom made us. I'm not cursing. Frank and I dated for 4 years. It's laughable now, but back then, neither of us seriously considered the massive gulf that lay between us. When you're 18 or 19, you like me, I like you, and that's enough. You don't think about whether you'll get married, if he has a car or a house, or where you'll end up. Our classmates were all supportive. Frank was a charmer and often treated my roommates to dinner or bought us bubble tea. Everyone liked him. Our social circles slowly merged. He brought me into his world, and I pulled him into mine. I was so naive and oblivious back then. Once, we went to one of his friends' parties. While he was getting drinks, a girl asked me with a smile, I hear your family has been poor for 3 generations, Ms. Wilson. How interesting. Frank's family has been rich for 3 generations, you know. I nodded seriously. That's right. His family background isn't as good as mine. After all, the textbook said that capitalists were the ones who needed re-education. But I promised myself I wouldn't look down on him for it. Someone else pointed at my dress. Is that a fake Mio Mio? Frank, why don't you buy your girlfriend something real? You wear what you can afford, I guess. Frank returned just then and said casually, I paid real money for it, so it's real. I nodded vigorously. Exactly. Back then, I knew nothing about luxury brands. To me, clothes just needed to be clean and comfortable. Frank himself didn't care about that stuff either. He'd wear a jacket that cost thousands of dollars, but he'd also fight for a $19.99 cotton t-shirt on sale. Youth is a wonderful thing. You look good in anything. He never gave me any expensive gifts. My favorite thing was when he'd take me out to find new places to eat. We explored every corner of the city. He had a small apartment near campus that became our secret hideout. We'd grill skewers in the summer and eat hot pot in the winter. When we were stuffed, we'd shamelessly burn off the calories in bed. I still worked part-time in my free time. Even though my family could afford my tuition, I couldn't stop thinking about my parents toiling away in the fields, so I tried to earn my own spending money. In my sophomore year, I met Frank's mother for the first time. We had just finished dinner and were walking out of the campus gates hand in hand. She was standing next to a black sedan, dressed in a sharply tailored, expensive-looking suit. She looked me up and down, her gaze finally landing on the purse on my shoulder. So you're the girl Frank's been seeing? That's a pretty bag. My son bought it for you, I assume. Like a fool, I took it off and shoved it into her hands with genuine sincerity. You like it, ma'am? Here, you can have it. Frank had given it to me, saying he'd bought it for $200. If his mom liked it, I had to be polite. His mother stood there, frozen, her expression complicated. Frank, on the other hand, burst out laughing. I quietly asked him what was wrong, if I'd said something stupid. He squeezed my fingers, his eyes full of amusement. Nope. You were perfect. I was truly clueless back then, always missing the subtext. The year we graduated, his mother formally requested a meeting with me. Ms. Wilson, I assumed this wouldn't last, but I see you've been together for quite some time. I've told Frank that you two could have fun, but there's no future for you. To be frank, I don't approve of your family background. He is the future heir to the Cole family fortune, and his marriage must be to someone of equal standing. You may think he loves you, that your bond is deep, but can love truly stand up to reality? There are many exceptional young women in his circle, and he will eventually be drawn to one of them. Feelings are not the most stable foundation. A truly strong relationship is one that brings tangible value to both parties. She slid a check across the table. This is $100,000. Consider it compensation for your time. I didn't take it. I just said stubbornly, it was never about his money. Looking back now, it all seems so ridiculous. It was around that time that I began to feel the distance between us. Dating is different from marriage. For 4 years, Frank had simply stepped into my world. But I had never truly understood his. His family's mansion was bigger than any I'd seen on TV. A single watch on his wrist could buy my family's house several times over. I didn't feel inferior, but I understood with stark clarity that a bird and a fish are destined for different paths. Especially in the 5 years since we broke up, after struggling in the real world, I understood what his mother said back then even more profoundly. All I want is a simple life. A stable job, a reliable partner, scraping together a down payment for a house, paying off a mortgage together, taking a trip once or twice a year, a quiet, happy life. And Leo, he checked all the boxes. The mutual impression was good. After the mixer, we went out for a casual dinner. But when I got home and flipped the switch, the lights flickered and then died completely. I tried the switch again. Nothing. I checked everything, the bill was paid, no breakers were tripped. I had no idea what was wrong. The apartment was pitch black. I was a little scared on my own, so I decided to spend the night at a hotel and call someone to fix it in the morning. Halfway there, I remembered, my ID was still with Frank. Steeling myself, I tried calling his old number. To my surprise, he answered. Hello. His voice came through the phone, a little heavy. Frank, it's me. What is it? My ID, can I get it back for a bit? What for? I need to get a room. There were 2 seconds of silence on the other end, followed by his explosive roar. Stella, are you insane? You just met the guy and you're already getting a hotel room? Do you even know him? He looks like a total weakling, and he... What was he talking about? Frank, you're crazy. I cut him off, furious. The power is out in my apartment. I'm going to a hotel to sleep. He paused, then said awkwardly, Oh, where are you? I'll bring it to you. I gave him the address. He arrived a short while later and did a once-over with his phone's flashlight. This building is too old. The wiring is shot. The main line probably burned out, he concluded. So what do I do? It won't be a quick fix. It'll take at least a week or 2. What? I held out my hand. Give me my ID. He patted his pockets, his expression unchanging. I forgot it. Seriously? Then why did you even come? I really forgot. It's at the office, he added. I suppressed the urge to scream and silently got into his car, ready to go to his office to retrieve it. Halfway there, he took a call. I just checked. The office is locked up for the night, and security has gone home. I stared out the window at the blurry neon lights, my fists clenching. Then where are we going now? I asked weakly. To sell you, he said flatly. The route started to look familiar. The car finally stopped in front of the familiar apartment building near campus, the same little place from all those years ago. It was a 2-bedroom, and the layout inside was exactly as I remembered. He opened the door. You can stay here for now. I hesitated at the doorway. I'll just go to a hotel tomorrow. He turned to look at me, his eyes calm. Wouldn't you rather save the money to pay me back? He really never misses a chance to be a capitalist. He handed me one of his oversized t-shirts. Where do I sleep? He leaned against the doorframe, asking with a look of casual amusement, where do you want to sleep? We used to always sleep in the master bedroom together. I sheepishly opened the door to the second bedroom. This is fine. A cold voice came from behind me. Lock your door when you sleep. I stopped in my tracks. That jerk. Was he still thinking about me in that way? I'm worried you'll sleepwalk and try to steal my ID. Fine. You win. In the middle of the night, I groggily got up to use the bathroom. My brain wasn't fully online, but my body, acting on years of muscle memory, walked straight into the master bedroom and expertly crawled into the warm bed. Frank, move over. You're on my hair. Then, I hugged the warm body next to me and fell back into a contented sleep. The next morning, I was sleeping soundly when my hand moved unconsciously. That doesn't feel right. My eyes shot open, and I found myself staring into a pair of deep, smiling eyes. What are you doing in my bed? Frank slowly propped himself up, his pajama collar slightly open. Stella, take a good look. Whose bed is this? I looked around the room, the familiar layout, his familiar scent. Oh, God. I walked right into this. How did I get in your bed? You tell me. He leaned closer, his voice a little husky. You crawled in here in the middle of the night, clung to me, and wouldn't let go. You even said a few things in your sleep. I felt a surge of guilt. What did I say? A smile touched the corner of his lips. Frank, you bastard, give me my money. Okay, that tracks with my current indebted to him persona. I relaxed a little. Also, you were holding onto my things and wouldn't let go. My scalp tingled. Holding on to what? His gaze drifted downward pointedly. What do you think? Oh, dear Lord. What did I do last night? And you were drooling. Looks like you've been pretty lonely all these years, huh? I retorted defensively, I was just half asleep. I fled to the bathroom, my face burning, to wash up. When I came out, a simple breakfast for two was laid out on the dining table. Oh, you shouldn't have. My words were polite, but my stomach betrayed me with a loud growl. He didn't even look up. I'll add it to your tab. It'll come out of your payments. Right. Never expect anything from a capitalist. Just then, my phone screen lit up with a text from Leo. Good morning, Stella. Are you free after classes today? I'd like to take you to dinner. Frank's eyes flickered to my phone screen, and his voice turned frosty. That guy with the glasses? What about him? What do you see in him? He has a 401 and health insurance. He was speechless for a moment. He reminded me coldly, just a reminder, Stella, you still owe me $20,000. Leo mentioned yesterday that in his hometown, the groom's family usually gives a gift of around $20,000. So, Mr. Cole, as soon as I'm married, I'll pay you back in full. I plastered on my professional smile. Satisfied? Frank gritted his teeth. His face was as dark as a thundercloud. He drove me to campus in stony silence and dropped me off at the gate. An hour before the end of the workday, the dean found me. Stella, the university has arranged for us to visit our corporate partners for an exchange. Since you're the liaison, you'll be the one going to Apex Capital. Is the universe messing with me? I went to Frank's company with a heavy heart. The receptionist saw me and immediately gave me a standard smile. "Good afternoon, Ms. Wilson. Mr. Cole is in a meeting. Please have a seat." Wait, how does she know me? To make things crazier, I ran into Jake at the office. "Ms. Wilson? What are you doing here?" Jake was wearing an intern's badge. His face lit up with an I get it expression. "Oh, you're here to check up on the boss, right?" "Me, I'm here for work." Right. Jake winked. "Mixing business with pleasure, I see. Don't worry, Teach, my lips are sealed." He did not look like someone whose lips were sealed. For the next few days, I was constantly sent to Frank's company for overtime to work on the partnership. The way everyone in the office looked at me was filled with a knowing, suggestive warmth. I don't know who started the rumor, but word got around that I was Mr. Cole's long-lost love, the one that got away, and that he was now trying to win me back. I tried to explain, but it only made things worse. And that jerk Frank neither confirmed nor denied it. He would even occasionally show me a little special treatment in front of everyone. Things like, "Ms. Wilson has been working hard. Order her an iced hazelnut latte, 1 pump of syrup," which only solidified the rumors. Since the first partnership dinner never happened, the university organized another one. At the dinner table, the department head led the charge, insisting that I have a drink with our generous benefactor, Mr. Cole. I'm a lightweight. After a few sips of wine, my head was already spinning. When it was over, Frank stood up naturally. "Ms. Wilson and I are headed the same way. I'll give her a ride home." Another teacher tried to hop in. "Mr. Cole, could you give me a ride too, please?" Frank refused coldly. "Sorry, it's not on my way. But I live in the same complex as Ms. Wilson." Without missing a beat, he steadied a swaying me. "She doesn't live there anymore." "Then where does she live?" "My place." Everyone exchanged glances. The message was received. He half carried, half supported me back to his apartment. The moment we were inside, I reached for the light switch. It flickered on for a second, then everything went black. A power outage? My brain was still short-circuiting. I didn't break it, it went out on its own. He grabbed my hand, his voice a low chuckle. "You're the one who broke it." "Then what do I do?" "I'll have to pay for this too." In the darkness, his breathing was loud and clear. Dazed, I instinctively bit his arm. "Frank Cole, you're a bastard. You swindle me, you make me work overtime. You ruined my date, you jerk." His breath hitched, and his voice dropped to a husky whisper. "I'm a bastard? Fine. Then I'll do what bastards do." The next second, he had me pinned against the wall, kissing me. His kiss was fiery, tasting of wine and long-suppressed desire. Remember this? Our first kiss was right here. The kiss sent my thoughts scattering. I remembered years ago, after we'd been dating for 6 months, we'd only ever held hands. Then, on his 19th birthday, after he'd sent all his friends home, he pressed me against the door, his ears bright red. "Babe, I want to kiss you." I asked him, "Do you even know how?" He said, "Of course." That day, he kissed me clumsily, relying purely on instinct, a mess of pecking and gnawing. After what felt like an eternity, both our lips were bruised and swollen. He was terrible at it. But practice makes perfect. He seemed to get addicted, wanting to kiss me all the time. A kiss can ignite every emotion, every desire. The intimacy that followed was a natural progression. But our first time wasn't exactly great. He was like a headless chicken, nervous and awkward. He tried several times without success. "Frank, I don't think we're compatible in bed. We just didn't fit, not at all." He blushed and promised over and over, "I swear I'll learn. I'll make sure you feel good next time." Back then, it took him a long time to figure things out. Not like now. One kiss, and his hands were already misbehaving. Within moments, I could barely stand. My knees went weak. After all, it had been a long dry spell for me too. Babe. He kissed me, whispering in my ear, his voice hoarse. Miss me? No. He punished me by deepening the kiss. Wrong answer. Try again. I couldn't take it anymore and surrendered. Yes. How much? He pressed, his breath hot against my skin. Just that much. And what do you do when you miss me? God, why are you asking so many questions? What else could I do? I threw caution to the wind. I've got a new toy. Charges in 5 minutes, runs for 2 hours. He froze, then let out a low, rumbling laugh, his breath ghosting over my collarbone. Oh. Is it better than me? Of course. At least it's more efficient. For the rest of the night, he was relentless. He proved his point physically, asking me over and over. So, who's better? Better in what way? Explain exactly how it's better. This man is insane. Why is he competing with a toy? In the end, he was satisfied. I was wrecked. The next morning, a very pleased Frank drove me to the university. I was fuming and gave him the silent treatment the entire way. Okay, sleeping with him was good. Really good. But thinking about it now just made me angry. Why does everything have to be on his terms? He gets to break up when he wants, and he gets to get back together when he wants. As I got out of the car at the campus gate, I ran into a few colleagues. Their eyes were full of knowing smirks. Well, look at you, Stella. Getting a personal chauffeur from Mr. Cole himself? Someone said, half joking, half sour, Stella, you really know how to play your cards right. I was fuming and ignored them. Then the dean called me into his office, his face glowing. Stella, your recent work has been outstanding. You're a shoo-in for the year-end awards. I always said you were a diamond in the rough. Oh, please. So damn predictable. I work my butt off every day and get nowhere, but the moment Frank shows me a little favor, I'm suddenly outstanding. The dean even joked, why didn't you tell us you and Mr. Cole were so close? You kept that a secret. From now on, you'll have to convince Mr. Cole to invest more in our department's research projects. I was simmering with rage. I stormed out and went straight to Frank's company. I threw open his office door. He was surprised to see me. He stood up and walked over, naturally reaching out to hug me. What are you doing here? Does it still hurt? I exploded, pushing him away. Hurt my ass. Frank, did you do all this on purpose? He chuckled, closing the distance again, his arms wrapping around me like steel bands. Okay, don't be mad. It's just been a while, I lost control. I'll be more careful next time. You think there's going to be a next time? I'm dying for a next time. Go die with your mother. Just die for me. Leave my mom out of it. Just then, the office door was pushed open again. I looked up, and a jolt of terror went through me. Oh my God. Why is his mom here? I was just yelling at him, not summoning his actual mother. My survival instinct kicked in, and I immediately tried to dive under his desk. Frank frowned and yanked me back up. What are you hiding for? Then he looked calmly toward the door. Mom, what are you doing here? His mother stared at me, stunned for a moment. Is this, Stella, right? Can we talk? I took a deep breath and prepared myself. Fine. Let's talk. If she offers me money this time, I'm definitely taking it. I'll take the money and disappear. No drama. $1 million would be great, but I wouldn't say no to 100,000. But instead, his mother started by politely asking about my job, then said with a sincere tone, about what happened back then, I was wrong. I was too stubborn, and I made things difficult for you too. An apology? This isn't how it's supposed to go. I was too set in my ways back then. I didn't understand your love. Wait, what is happening? Then, her tone shifted, and her eyes filled with expectation. So, when are you two planning on getting married? I was floored. Utterly and completely floored. This wasn't in the script. Wasn't she supposed to slap a check on the table and say, "Leave my son"? This is so disappointing. And right when I'm broke and need the money the most. So she's not paying a single cent? Parents these days just don't follow the script. Frank pulled my shoulder tighter against him and looked at his mom, his voice calm. Mom, don't scare her. We're still working on it. Working on what? Who's working on anything with you? Why didn't your mom offer me money? Damn it. I'm drowning in debt, and I was just hoping a rich old lady would see my vulnerability. Frank looked down at me, a teasing smile spreading across his face. What happened to that pure, innocent girl from back then who didn't care about money? I shot him a fierce glare. That was a young, naive me. Life has since beaten all the idealism out of me. This is the new and improved Stella. I'm all about the money now. My greedy little speech made him laugh, and he was momentarily speechless. I sniffled, thinking back to that time, and a wave of indignation washed over me. Back then, I didn't want our relationship to be tainted by money. I didn't want to take your money because if I did, it would change what we were. I always felt that we were equals. And not, as other people said, some pet canary you kept. I had stubbornly stuck to my principles, determined to be honest and blameless in our relationship. The playful look on his face softened, and his gaze grew serious. I know. What do you know? I accused him, my voice thick with grievance. If you knew, you wouldn't have thrown a breakup fee at me and then gotten engaged to someone else. I never wanted to break up with you. So you wanted me to be your mistress? The thought made me even angrier. He sighed, exasperated. That engagement was fake. The girl wasn't into men. We were just business partners, putting on a show for our parents. We had a plan to run away together from the engagement party. I was going to take you and that $1 million, and we were going to start our own life. I was stunned. And then, you showed up with a pile of cash and made it rain. I tried to find you to explain, but you were gone. Stella, I was the one who lost both the girl and the money, okay? I looked at his indignant, aggrieved expression and felt a mix of emotions. So, after all these years of drama, it was all just one giant misunderstanding? But we're still not right for each other. I was too naive back then. Now I understand with perfect clarity the very real gap between our lives. I know what you're worried about. He took my hand. Everything I had back then was given to me by my family. That's why, in the years we were apart, I worked so hard to become completely independent from them. I didn't think much of it. Please, no one can ever be completely free from their family. It's impossible. Oh, it's possible. A few years ago, I brought a man home to meet my mother. She's been on her best behavior ever since. She deeply regrets breaking us up. Now, as long as I'm willing to date someone, and that someone is female, she gives her wholehearted approval. Wait, that's an option? I was dumbfounded. So, after this entire convoluted mess, I threw away our $1 million for nothing. The pain was suffocating. He raised an eyebrow, his tone slightly wounded. Yep. Otherwise, we might have had a kid running around by now. Stella. He cupped my face in his hands, his words clear and deliberate. I never wanted anyone else. You have always been my only choice. You were then, you are now, and you always will be. My nose stung, and tears welled up in my eyes. I thought you really didn't want me anymore. And you extorted me, and you bullied me. He let out a low laugh, a triumphant glint in his eyes. How else was I supposed to keep you by my side? As for the rest of the money, we can extend the payment plan. For how long? He leaned in and kissed me, his voice a low murmur. A lifetime.